video is about how to target newcomers with listening and speaking practice. When teaching English learners, we want to target explicitly three things. The first is vocabulary in a thematic context. For example, family. This is the mother. This is the father. This is the boy. This is the girl. Second, grammar. Things like nouns, adjectives, adverbs, all your verb tenses. And then the third thing is language functions. For newcomers, it might be asking and answering questions, naming things, responding to and issuing commands. You definitely want to start with social language and then move on into academic language. So we want to use targeted vocabulary to practice a specific grammatical form to do a function. For example, we use nouns like family member vocabulary to practice the function of naming people. We are going to first talk about vocabulary. Whenever teaching newcomers, you definitely want to limit the number of vocabulary. I like to say 3 to 5 words at most. We want to teach the vocabulary most useful to that age group. So for example, for little newcomers, you definitely want to start with words that they will come in contact with. So for school, things like playground, jump rope, and others are okay, but for a secondary student, maybe not playground or jump rope. So when we teach vocabulary, we want to use image, maybe even an image in 2 different contexts. For example, father, here's a picture of father, and then here is a picture of a family picnic with father in the picture. So in that way, students can see father in 2 different places. We then want to use words with the images. So if you teach second grade and up, please show the words as immediately as possible. When we teach words, we might introduce initial sounds. So father, family, the sound. We also want to connect the student to their first language or their native language, whatever you want to call it. But the idea here is, if this is father, what is father in your language? Like, what is father in Chinese? Baba. And the student says that, and I go, oh, great job. I might not understand, but at least the student is connecting to their own language. We also don't want to speak too much of their language, because then they'll just sit and wait for you to speak Chinese or Spanish, the language they understand. And then most of you will have classes where students speak a lot of different languages. So really try to keep your commands in English and keep them simple. Things like repeat, say, repeat after me, because they will understand those words over time. But if you speak too much and give them too many directions in English, they just might not understand you. After you teach vocabulary, you want to practice the form with a function. So you might use nouns, people, and maybe the sentence frame, this is the blank. But when you practice listening and speaking, you definitely need a speaker and a listener, right? So who is this is the question, speaker number 1. Then the listener then responds, this is the father. Please remember that there's always a question and an answer. It's very easy for us teachers to start with this is the blank, and then just keep practicing this is the blank, and then we forget that there was a question. Then if you want to move on to commands and responding to commands, maybe put the mother here. We'll practice the same vocabulary. Put the mother. So they're talking about the mother card. You grab the mother card, put the mother card here. You model it, right, first, so you show them, put the mother card here. Maybe here is in front of you, here in a box, but put the mother here. You grab the mother card, put it there here in a box, then maybe there. But give the point to, take the, show me. All these commands definitely need to be practiced. The students need to hear it, do it over and over again, mix them up, make sure they're not doing put the when you say give to. There's another practice for social language, right? So please, thank you, you're welcome is very important when you're starting with students. They're going to hear that. Or asking and answering questions. What is your name? Who is your teacher? How many brothers or sisters do you have? Then you can make a sentence frame for what is your name with the question. Then the answer, my name is blank, or who is your teacher? Then another sentence frame, my teacher is Mrs. Adeva. So when we do these practices, please remember I do, we do, you do. I'm sure you're very familiar with that, but maybe the you do ends in a speak to write. So whenever you can, this is the mother, this is the father, this is the boy, they write that down. Maybe read out a sentence. So all you need are vocabulary words with images, and then have a sentence structure in the form of a sentence frame, pose a question, give a command to practice the vocabulary, grammatical forms, and functions for your newcomers. All right, thanks. Have a great day. Bye.